Welcome back to my Pokémon Platinum Hardcore Nuzlocke with no duplicate types allowed. In the last episode, we took down Wake with Thunder and Steel, trashed our choice specs in Celestic Town, surfed our way through Iron Island, brought Byron to his knees with Fire, Water, and Fists, and we even got to experience the Underground. With the team officially entering their prime, we are more than ready to take on the upcoming challenges. It's time to make some more memories. Let's do this. The Team Galactic section coming up can be a bit long and fairly uninteresting, I suppose, so let's liven it up a little bit with a quick team review while we showcase just how far everyone has come. Zeus has easily become my personal favorite of the group. She has stepped up in every way she needed to since Apollo left us. She is the de facto leader of our family, and even though you could argue she's not our strongest, as far as I'm concerned, Zeus is still our ace. Hades has been excellent, but it has been expected excellence. He's all business, and very calculated as well. No surprises, no fluff, no great comebacks or growth in his personality or his craft. Hades just shows up and gives us exactly what we ask for. No more, no less. I feel like I don't really know who Demeter really is just yet. She's been around for a while, but mostly in the background observing the others. Very chill, but I'd say she's one of the ones I'm least connected to if I'm being honest. Dionysus is quite the opposite, on the other hand. He's always looking for more challenges, and is not shy about it in the slightest. Very similar to Hades in his calculated approach. The boys on the team just seem to be all like that. Dionysus has been a symbol of consistency this whole run, and he's one of our oldest friends. Hera obviously brings the muscle, but she's also the party animal of the bunch if I had to pick one. Loves to smash things in bursts of pure elation, even when it's completely unnecessary. I think her personality and battle style complement the others well. Hephaestus isn't here with us at the moment, but it has been super helpful for us. Our new security blanket of sorts after Apollo went down. One of the more offensive Bronzongs I've ever seen throughout my other journeys, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. And now we have our newest team member in Hermes. Haven't gotten a good grasp on him just yet. Will he be like the other boys on the team, or will he go in a completely different direction? We'll find out soon enough. Saturn, Mars, and the rest of Team Galactic have now been handled, and now it's time to move on to Mount Coronet and the snowy routes to the north. I stopped by the Celestic Town Pokemon Center for a quick heal, and I don't know how I haven't noticed this dramatic change in music. I know there are versions for both day and night on many of the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum tracks, but the Pokemon Center theme is so much more noticeable than many of the others. I like it. I also think I tend to enjoy the night versions more in general across the board. Which one do you guys prefer? The daytime music or the nighttime vibes? Heading out of town to the eastern end of Route 211, and there's not too much to talk about. The encounters are exactly the same on this side as they were on the western side. The only difference being most of them on this area have evolved. Hermes definitely stole the show on the battling aspect of things. He's still got a long way to go, but the improvements are certainly becoming more visible now. I did decide to give him Rock Smash for the time being as well, because we're really gonna need someone other than Gaia to pick it up until we get all the way through Mount Coronet. It's also just fun to imagine Hermes walking up to a massive boulder and smashing his face into it, blowing it up into a million pieces. Entering Mount Coronet now, and while Route 211 was fairly uneventful, this small section of Sinnoh's most famous landmark is quite packed with stuff for us to grab. More than I thought, actually. The TM for Rock Polish is actually very intriguing to me. Hermes is, very ironically, quite slow, and this could be the setup he needs to truly shine. His learn set is also pretty limited as well, so it's not like we're taking up an important slot here, at least not at the moment. I will never complain about rare candies, and the shard is appreciated as well. Moving into the foggy sections of the cave, we've got the light clay for potential screen setups later with Hephaestus, the soft sand, which Hera will certainly appreciate the most with her brutal earthquakes, and again, who doesn't love rare candies just lying around? And finally, we cap off this cave exploration with the Never Melt Ice, which is another important type boosting item that I have a feeling we'll need at some point. Wonderful stroll through Sinnoh's winter wonderland. Fantastic time of year for it as well. No items of note, but the team did very well against the ace trainers leading up to the cabin on the western end of the route. Zeus continues to dominate regardless of what route we're currently on, and both Hermes and Demeter got in some good action as well. A nice warm-up as we entered the rest house. Perfect time to hang out with some hot chocolate as we watch the snow fall outside our window. A cozy nap to soothe our body and mind for the hike ahead of us, and a chance to truly immerse ourselves in what this incredible world has to offer. As much as I would love to just sit here and enjoy this forever, it's time to move on. Let's bring up that encounter table. Snowrun is our target, specifically a female if possible. If we do get a male Snowrun, then we will be stuck with Glalie, but it also means that we can go back to Route 209 and grab Duskull as an additional encounter. More options are always nice in a way, but I really want that Frostlass. Come on. Let's go! I'm very excited to use a Frostlass in this run, and we could really use another fast special attacker as well. Fast being the key word there, as Aphrodite is going to be pivotal against some of the deadliest obstacles in the game. We'll have to wait until we reach Snow Point City to begin our bond with our newest team member of our family, but in the meantime, we've got a blizzard to trek through. Ace Trainer Dalton gave us a bit of a scare with his Electabuzz, as I did not think that it had Thunderbolt at first, until I looked up and realized we're already facing opponents with level 40 Pokemon. Like, geez, where did the time go? Luckily, Hermes and Demeter were able to finish the rest of this off without any more potential problems. Grabbed the HM for Rock Climb. Still not entirely sure who's going to learn this yet since Gaia can't evolve. We'll figure it out after Candace. A few more battles featuring Hermes and his new toy. Zen Headbutt is about as deep as his move pool is gonna go, but it is a decent coverage option at least. We gave Barry a quick wave at the lakefront and then enter the blissful Snow Point City. A well-deserved heal for the team. And what the hell are you doing in here? How does a Psyduck make it all the way up here? Maybe it's one of the ones we cured with the secret potion back on Route 210, and it just somehow randomly made its way through a mountain and a blizzard? Anyway, let's get our newest team member out of the box and meet her for the first time. And with that, our last typing on the board has been removed at last, and our team is now set in stone. With 8 team members now in total, sorry Gaia, we'll have some tough decisions to make as far as who we want to continue to take with us for the rest of the journey. We might mix and match here and there depending on the circumstances, but I think in general, Demeter and Hermes will probably be riding the bench most of the time. There will be exceptions to this, of course, but let's just see how it all plays out. Before we take on Candace, we've got a serious training session on our plate. We've got quite a few team members that need to be capped off, and Aphrodite will be getting the EV treatment. I need speed and power from our new goddess, and what better way to acquire such attributes than to wipe out a bunch of dead things and Magikarp. Hey, if Team Galactic can do it, why can't we? Am I right? With Aphrodite taken care of, it's time to let the others have some fun against Sinnoh's aristocrats. Decent training spot, but we could really use some money as well. I'm gonna need another copy of Ice Beam before we proceed. We already had an extra copy of Thunderbolt, and we did go back to Route 210 to pick up Shadow Ball. With Ice Beam and Psychic added to our arsenal, Aphrodite is immediately dangerous. Those are the eyes of a killer. As we approach Candace for a chance at our 7th gym badge, let's quickly go over our plan for this one. Hera is leading the charge to take out Candace's lead. She's definitely bulky enough to take any hits that come our way, and Brick Break may actually shatter Sneasel into a million pieces. And from there, the team and I will sit back and watch Hades burn the entire gym to the ground. The reason I wanted to do a team review for this one is because I learned something new today, and that is the interaction between wide lens and evasion boosting moves like double team. I've given Hades the wide lens for this fight because it will reduce the accuracy hit we'll be taking from Frostlass's double team if Candace decides to use it. With a plan in place, it's now time to drag Candace down into the underworld. Let's do this. We lead with Hera, of course, who should have zero issue taking this Sneasel out. It has nothing that would put us in any danger, even with a crit. After Sneasel's obliteration, Frostlass comes into the fight, and this is exactly what I was hoping for. It's all Hades from here on out. Let's hope we get Psychic. A fantastic clean switch for us as we go for a flamethrower. The double team does come out, and we do miss our first attack. Another double team, but Hades is able to break through. Let's see if it's enough. Candace's ace falls, and with that out of the way, there is nothing stopping this raging wave of hell from burning everything else to the ground. After a quick heal, I spent some time thinking about who should come with us for the raiding of the Team Galactic HQ building, and more importantly, Mount Coronet, Spear Pillar, and the Distortion World. The difficulty here is we need a ton of HMs to navigate through Mount Coronet, which forces us to bring Demeter and Hermes along, which is very ironic after the comment I made earlier regarding benching those two for most of the remainder of the run. And while I will bring Dionysus along for the Team Galactic HQ building sequence, I have made the decision to have both he and Hades sitting on the bench for Mount Coronet and the Distortion World. Should be a very interesting trip. Now that we have access to the HM for Rock Climb outside of battle, I'd like to take care of a few things before we deal with our favorite evil team. Since we are still in Snow Point, we'll deal with Barry and Jupiter first just to get the ball rolling, but now I'd like to pick up a few items. Veilstone City is our first destination, and here we can pick up the Full Incense. Similar to the Lagging Tail item, it makes your Pokemon slower, enabling you to consistently use moves such as Payback, Avalanche, etc. at full power. Not sure if I want to use this or not yet, but I like having that option available. Similarly, over at the Valor Lakefront to the south, we've got the TM for Dream Eater. I know it's super gimmicky, but I think it could be a lot of fun to use with Hephaestus at some point during the run. And finally, over on Route 211, we can finally smash these rocks and head up the slope for another copy of Psychic, which Hephaestus will also appreciate for the time being. I'm gonna avoid heading back to Route 216 for Ice Beam at this point, as I don't think anyone else in the team can really use it anymore. And with that being said, let's head back to Veilstone to deal with Team Galactic. After speaking with the skittish grunt outside of the main HQ building, jeez, he ran away like he saw a ghost or something, and it's off to the warehouse to knock some skulls together. You know what, Looker? You get a pass this time for actually being useful. And not playing your theme music while you do it. Good job. Zeus and I popped into this place harder than what Lance and his Dragonite pulled off in Mahogany Town. I will neither confirm nor deny Zeus's usage of Thunderbolt on grown adults wearing spacesuits. Besides, we have the international police on our side, so we're probably fine, right? Also, what is up with these scientists and their relentless insistence on using X defense on their psychic types? I'm sorry, man, but Zeus is eating both of your Pokemon for lunch regardless of what you do. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Heading back down to the warehouse floor again, we can pick up the TM for Sludge Bomb. Demeter can actually learn this one if we want, and on the surface it does seem like a pretty great fit, considering the move will allow her to counter her only weakness in grass. But then you realize that she can just learn Ice Beam, so what's the point of this move then? Probably nothing more than a strong stab for something like Gengar, I guess. Heading back across town now to take on the HQ building for real now. Zeus continues her onslaught, refusing to give any of the others a chance to have some fun. She must have been pretty pissed about not getting any action on the last couple of gym leaders. No items of note as we continue down the corridors. Cyrus attempts stand-up for the first time in his career, and then proceeds to throw his entire team under the bus. We aren't amused in the slightest though. And now we fight Cyrus for the second time. Let's do this. At this point, Hera has an extensive track record against Sneasel, so naturally we let her do some more chopping to get this fight started. Cyrus's first Pokemon is down, and now Crobat joins the fight. We respond with our Ace, and Crobat misses the Supersonic. Poison Fang hits us for not a whole lot of damage, but we are poisoned, which will probably make things far too awkward against Honchkrow. Zeus may actually be slower as well, so even if a magnet-boosted Thunderbolt was able to kill, we probably shouldn't risk losing the speed battle. Cyrus's own Ace finally enters the battlefield, and we make the switch into Demeter first to see what she can do. Honchkrow's a pretty scary Pokemon if you can't take it out quickly. Its attack stat is massive, and the moveset Cyrus has chosen ain't too bad either. If Honchkrow goes for Drill Peck, things could get hairy. Demeter holds on and is able to pull off an Ice Beam. Not enough to bring it down, but that was expected, I suppose, and the Citrus Berry is consumed. I send in Hephaestus next to attempt to set up a Confuse Ray. This should be a decently safe play, as Honchkrow's best attack here is going to be Nightshade, which we know won't bring us down on the next turn. And this is exactly how it plays out. I'm honestly not sure what we could get here, but in anticipation of yet another Nightshade, I'm gonna take the chance on Aphrodite to bring this home. Thankfully, our Confuse Ray pulls through, and now, Honchkrow is nothing more than a sitting duck. Cyrus is down again, but no time for rest, as we've got another fight on our hands. It's time we freed the Lake Spirits, and that means another encounter with Saturn. We lead with Zeus this time and go for the Thunderbolt, but not before getting hit with Confuse Ray. Really kicking myself right now for not equipping that Person Berry. The magnet is clearly not needed to bring down a Golbat. On the next turn, we're hit with Poison Fang again, and just like Cyrus's Golbat, this one gets lucky as well, making things much more awkward for us. Let's see if we can at least push through this time. Zeus was unable to overcome her status conditions, so we'll have to try someone else. Hephaestus will easily deal with this, even with the obnoxiousness that is Confusion. There's just nothing Golbat can really do other than to pray for Confusion hits every single time. I'm actually surprised that Saturn didn't want to make a switch here into Bronzor. In any case, Golbat goes down, and now Hephaestus faces off against its lesser form. I go for Hypnosis, and it hits. From here, I switch into Aphrodite, which might have been a little bit too risky now that I'm thinking about it, but Bronzor is fairly weak offensively, so I think we'll be okay. The first Shadow Ball deals under half, but we get the special defense drop, which means we should be able to take it out with another one on the next turn. And Bronzor remains asleep. Perfect. Nothing left but Saturn's Ace. Unfortunately for him though, Toxicroak isn't very fond of psychic type attacks. Saturn falls once again, and the Lake Trio are released. After leaving the building, we fly over to Celestic Town and bid our friend Dionysus a farewell for now. This is the team we'll be bringing with us to Mount Coronet. Demeter and Hermes could actually play some key roles coming up. We'll see. I did some additional training on Route 211 to prepare for the hike up the mountain, and without further ado, let's begin. This would be the first of a few brain farts I'm gonna have this episode, so be on alert for more of those. I quickly realized I messed up as soon as I saw this familiar idiot standing in the middle of the cave. Was this person here in Diamond and Pearl, or just Platinum? Totally makes sense to have to nudge the player in the right direction, but now I feel like a dumbass. Oh well, let's take a quick stroll through Eterna City and down Route 206 to get to where we need to be. I find it very hilarious and also very frustrating that the only reason we need to bring Demeter along is to surf over this tiny patch of water. This is literally the only reason you need surf. You're looking at it. As I continued through the cave, I took this little side entrance outside for a bit of fresh air, and because I was also curious as to what was here because I had forgotten. It's just a timer ball, but what the hell is this? Wait a minute, do we actually need surf, or can you just use this rock climb wall to bypass the little pond down below? Oh. Never mind. That would have been cool though if it were possible. Listen, if there's any chance at all I can avoid using an HM in this generation, I'm gonna go for it. After heading back inside, we picked up the TM for Rock Slide for Hermes, but I'm not going to teach it to him just yet as I want to use a different strategy against Mars and Jupiter. It's unfortunate that Rock Smash just gets in the way of everything. Oh god, the music is back! Just to quickly gloss over the encounters here for anyone else wondering, the Pokemon you can obtain in the cave basically remain mostly the same from when you first visited Mount Coronet. Some of them are just evolved now. However, it is worth noting that you can pick up Absol on the summit if you don't already have a dark type at this point. Abomasnow is here too, but there are several other routes you can obtain one of those if you wanted to. With just a few more grunts to go, a hidden rare candy in the corner here, and I think we're all ready to go for the battle at Spear Pillar. Let's do this. I lead with Hermes simply for no other reason than I want to get him more involved. It really seems surprisingly difficult to accomplish that, and I wanted to go for more of a unique approach here just to keep things interesting. The goal is to set up a few rock polishes and simply take out at least a few of their Pokemon with Natural Gift and Zen Headbutt. Things start out fine with both Bronzors targeting Barry's Munchlax, but with both Reflect and Light Screens up, it's kinda hard to really do anything. We get a defense drop with Rock Smash, but then we get hit with Gyro Ball. Now, originally when I did my damage calculations, Gyro Ball wasn't exactly going to deal a whole lot of damage because Hermes is already a slow Pokemon as well. Except, I didn't account for the fact that my speed would actually be at +4 at the time Gyro Ball actually came out, therefore dealing way more damage than I anticipated. And you know what my first thought was when this happened? Oh, it's fine. I'll just remove that Bronzor with Natural Gift and we'll continue the strat. Not even thinking for a second that, you know, maybe the other one has it as well. This has to be the dumbest way I've lost a Pokemon on this channel, and it might not even be close. Often, the best play is to just keep things simple. I'm all for having a bit of fun during fights, even if the strategy isn't optimal, but this was just silly. I'm sorry, Hermes, I failed you. We send in Hera next to face off against Mars's Perugly. It does have Aerial Ace, but I think we can take it and whatever Bronzor throws at us as well. We take the hit well, and now we go for a Brick Break. Perugly falls with a single strike, and that definitely helps us out immensely. Luckily, Bronzor decides to attack Munchlax, and now Golbat joins the fight. The next logical switch will be into Hephaestus, as neither Golbat or Bronzor can really deal with it well. Another Reflect goes up, but that's okay for now, and we go for a Psychic on the next turn. Munchlax is just taking all sorts of punishment, which works for me, and the Psychic hits. Mars' final Pokemon goes down, and now we get the massive 2v1 advantage to deal with Jupiter. I spent a few more turns trying to hit a Hypnosis just to try to prevent any more screens from coming out, but it wasn't gonna happen until after Munchlax fell. Not a bad thing though, I guess, if Infernape is gonna join the fight. I think this might be one of the first times I've ever seen Barry's starter in this particular fight. Once Bronzor was put to sleep, I sent out to meet her next in preparation for the next Pokemon. Infernape's Flame Wheel removes said Bronzor, and now Jupiter's Golbat is sent out. Another brain fart incoming! Guys, never forget that Jupiter's Zubat/Golbat has freaking Giga Drain. Luckily, nothing significant came from that turn, and while our Ice Beam wasn't enough to kill, we did get the freeze at least. I sent in Hephaestus again, thinking it would just be a super safe play, and then quickly glanced over the Jupiter's team again, only to realize that Skuntank has Flamethrower. What am I doing? Hephaestus is not a Bronzong of the heat-proof variety, so I switched into Zeus for the attack drop on Skuntank, while Infernape goes for a nasty close combat. That was actually super helpful, Barry. Thank you. Our Thunderbolt connects. Just not enough to bring it down, and Infernape falls as a result. But with Staraptor in now, a convenient quick attack is all that is needed to finally bring an end to Team Galactic's admins. And with that, this episode is now over. Another death added to the counter. Hermes wasn't going to be one of our best, but it still feels awful losing him in the way that we did. I can't let that happen with anyone else. In the next one, we'll kick things off with our final battle against Cyrus, and then move on to Sunyshore City and Victory Road. Let's see if we can make it all the way to the league. In the meantime, as usual, please like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this. That's it from me. I'll see you next time.